It's 10 at 3 time, Tennessee. What's up, y'all? How you doing? Hope you're having a good day today here on this Tuesday, January the 27th, 2026. If I can get the microphone cord out of the way of my notepad here, I'd be able to tell you that. Wes Rucker here, and we got a full house today.
It is a packed house
in
in
here.
here.
House in here today.
It's like everybody's sitting around here. Let's take a look.
This is the first time that we've gone 4 wide in here. We've got I'll say 5 wide because we've also got Lord of the Streams Tom Barclay back there. But we've got here to my right we got Elijah Nixon, and we have Emily Ray Cochran here.
Hello.
And we have one of our fine meteorologists here at this station, Julia Quady, who's also the only former college athlete, I believe, in this room. Is cheerleading a sport?
Yeah, we're counting cheerleader. For you, Emily, we're going to count cheerleader. We're going to count cheerleading.
I'll do a backflip right now.
This is beef fishing.
There is athleticism involved.
This is beef
It's a sport in my book.
It is.
Absolutely.
You just put a little rage bait
Shout
on here.
out,
just throw it out
Tennessee
there.
cheer just won a national championship.
They
So
like their 14th one, right?
yeah,
14th or
well, when you
15th.
combine cheer and dance, I'm not sure. I think like somewhere in the mix 14, but yeah, their 4th game day D1A national championship.
And because they're always
Yeah.
introduced at timeouts as like the 14 or 15 time national champions.
Their
Whatever it
dance
is.
team is really good.
I know it's
Yeah.
them and the Kentucky cheer teams are always kind of up there near the top nationally. And I wonder if they, we have to get one of the many things we have to do. We got to get them in here to talk about, do they have a rivalry with Kentucky in that way? Because I would imagine that Tennessee and Kentucky in every sport they don't like each other, right? Not a secret to anyone here.
For sure.
But they've also got 2 of the top cheer and dance teams like in the country. So I wonder if they're like,
Well, Bama's up there
are they
too.
like doing like some like bring it on? Like are they
Oh,
pulling
for
hair? Are they
sure.
fighting? Are
Yeah.
they conniving?
Historic-
Are they backstabbing?
Historically, Kentucky and Alabama cheerleading have always really gone head to head. They're co-ed groups because they're crazy. Tennessee, I feel like they're working their way up. I don't think Tennessee was ever on the same level as Kentucky as they are like now.
No.
But I don't know. There's different divisions. I don't know if Kentucky does game day. Game day is basically it's different. It's less hard skill. Sorry, we're going on a cheer.
No.
right now.
I want to hear about this. I want to hear about
Less.
invested.
So game day is basically, I think I tweeted about it. Basically, Tennessee brings the crowd to Neyland Stadium. So the chants they do at Neyland, the stunts they do at Neyland, the acrobatic skills they do at Neyland, that all is in one routine. And then traditional cheerleading and that section, that division is harder skills. So you can't perform. You could perform. You're more so judged on the difficulty of your skills in traditional, whereas game day, you're not judged on any difficulty. It's just your presence and like
Your
the
vibes.
vibes and
Your
the energy.
vibes.
Exactly. So Tennessee always brings the vibes on game day. So I'm not surprised that they won a national championship.
So I did not know that it was essentially in some ways a vibes-based thing because if that's the case, like, are there any other things where we can just do vibes-based stuff?
Like this podcast.
There you go.
But you know what? I wish they could chants. I wish they could like do the like a certain chants I really like. Like
They
when
do V.
So like I wish that we could judge
Oh.
that. So because like against others, because like I remember when I used to intern for the Hornets, my favorite one when they traveled was no, traveling is a call. I was like, that's kind of hard.
The
That's
way
kinda
that the
hard.
Nashville Predators fans point and chant at the goalie, it's all your fault. After
Yeah,
every
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That's top tier stuff. But we got a lot to discuss in here today, and I'm glad that we have a former college athlete in here to be able to walk us through some of this hypothetical stuff, because the real situation here, you can go back from the past week and see that we've talked a lot about this Bediako stuff, right? We were out in front of this, said, hey, this is something that he's got an argument here, but I don't know if it's enough. But you know what helps is when the Tuscaloosa judge, who's also legally speaking, technically speaking, a booster, does not recuse himself from a case and gives you a TRO saying that you can play. And the update there is that it was supposed to be a 10-day TRO. He was supposed to have a meeting or a hearing this morning down in Tuscaloosa. But ironically, because a lawyer from Tennessee could not make it down there through the ice, they pushed it back. So
10
the
days.
TRO's been extended, so they're going to reschedule the hearing. But for now, he can still play. So that's a couple games this week. He'll be able to play.
Florida.
And if you remember the lawsuit, the ruling from the TRO says specifically, and I don't know how enforceable this is. This is all uncharted territory, but it says specifically, Alabama, Bediako, Oates cannot be punished for him playing, no matter what the ruling is at the end of this case, which I don't know how enforceable that is. Usually the NCAA, it's an invertebrate, right? It's kind of spineless. And so I don't think it would try to stand up to that. But could it? I don't know. But regardless, there is a professional athlete who has had an NBA contract signed, a two-way NBA contract, but still an NBA contract. And after 3 years as a professional with no NBA games but an NBA contract and a couple other G League contracts, he is playing college basketball now. And this is fascinating to me because it's 3 years, right? And we talked about this for a week. We don't have to keep going on and on about it. But by now I think you know the meat and potatoes of what's going on here. Mm-hmm. And so my hypothetical here to our former tennis playing colleague here is probably you still playing tennis, just not.
I play when I have the time. I'll be honest, my rackets are back at home. I did not bring them here to Tennessee.
I didn't know if you were like if you would go play like at a racket club or something, go somewhere and just not tell somebody you played college tennis and just destroy them and make them feel so bad and just never ever mention it.
I was the type of person where I wouldn't even take it easy on kids.
That's what I'm
if
saying.
If you're across that net from me, you're gonna get it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Kids.
That's what I'm saying. But like if you do that and you don't tell them that you were a college tennis player and just destroy them and be like, I don't know, it's just a good game.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there going, what just happened to me? You know?
I mean, I feel like I would assume it's the same for other sports, but I feel like for tennis players, you can size this up very quickly. Like, just off a few rallies,
you see
what type of players
you
across
see
the
the
net
top
from you.
spin coming off the racket.
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
like, okay,
you're like,
a little different.
This is in person
right?
who just plays recreationally.
And there was a reason that we as baseball players had a strict rule that if we were ever caught on a tennis court, we would be in trouble, like serious trouble, because baseball, it's backspin on the swing that you're going for. Tennis, it's topspin, completely different swings. And so one of the reasons that my mom tried to get my sister and I to play tennis, because it's like in the summer and you're like, I can't be around you two all the time. Like not just playing baseball and softball, you got to go do something else, right? I can't take this. And so she tried to get us to go to a tennis camps a couple of times, but I'm a baseball player. She's a softball player. We kept really hitting the ball like over the fence and like into the parking lot because that's what happens when you give a baseball or softball player a racket. That's the thing. But so my question here is, imagine that you are still an NCAA tennis player. You are going up against somebody who you find out just before the match, this person's 23 years old. This person 3 years ago was a sophomore in college who left college, declared professionally, did not get an ATP card, so never played in like the top level, but did play on some smaller professional circuits. And now they want to come back and you're playing them. As an athlete, are you of two minds there? Are you excited for the competition, but also like this is not right, or what goes through your mind?
Okay, I just want to make it clear: did they or did they not play matches at the pro level? They did.
They did, but not on like an official like ATP and especially not a Grand Slam event.
I would argue that still the experience is very different. So I would have
it's the closest I can
I would still have an issue with it.
He has reps at the pro level.
Yes, yeah. Just because I don't know, you just can't compare. I think the experience from a college atmosphere versus a pro atmosphere. Like you still gained something in that experience, in that atmosphere and environment that you can now take to the collegiate level that will inadvertently give you some type of advantage, in my mind.
Yeah, because I've covered like what I would call big college tennis matches where it's two top 5 teams playing, or an SEC championship, or an NCAA tournament style, or at the Nationals where you've got a pretty good size court, whether it's indoor or outdoor in terms of the fans that are there. It's pretty loud. There's a lot of emotion. If people have never seen college tennis, the emotion in it is fierce. Like it's different. Like the most intense matches at the pro level in terms of the yelling, the competitiveness, it's just different because you've also got a team sitting around you. Maybe Davis Cup would be similar, where you've got people sitting around who are going crazy and trying to intimidate the opponent, trying to hype up their own person. But even in that case, if you've also seen an ATP event, it's, and I'm not talking like just Grand Slam at I'm center court at Wimbledon or anything like that, or Roland Garros. I'm talking like the ATP events in Cincinnati, the ones in Miami, like California. Those are still, that's a different type of environment.
Absolutely, yes.
In terms of how much different are we talking here? Because people can hear me say it, and it probably go in one ear and out the other. You played. What would you say?
I would say it's absolute dress. That's apples to oranges. You're not even in the same. Honestly, I would make it even more drastic. You're not even in the same food groups. You're looking at carbs versus fruits and vegetables, whatever extremity or extreme you want to go to there. You just can't make a fair comparison between the two, in my mind. Just because, like what you were kind of applying to it, how like you're gonna have the screaming crowds, the cheering. Obviously, you have some of that atmosphere in college tennis, but just it's not to that level. You're not going to have hundreds and thousands of fans watching you and having that type of pressure. You can't even, I think, apply that type of pressure and make a similarity between the two.
And in terms of the component to this, which is, and I think if you're Charles Bediako, listen, there's a couple of fair arguments here. Now, the 3 years is wild, okay? And this is unprecedented. But the rule, one of the points, the main point that I think he's made is that he would not have turned pro if he had known what the future would hold financially for college athletes, which if that happened 7 years ago, 6 years ago, I would certainly buy it. 3 years, I'm not so sure. There were, rev share had not been official yet, but we all kind of saw where that thing was going, right? Maybe it's gone a little faster than people thought, but regardless, that's legally, and being fair here, an argument worth hearing, but I'm not so sure about it. The other one, and this would, I think, apply in a lot of cases to other sports like tennis as well, the international players who come in. For people who don't know, they don't really do high school sports and youth sports in most countries in the way that we do them here. It's not, it's high school sports there, the official ones are like church leagues kind of. That's the church league basketball or something would be the closest I would call it. If you are a player of any stature whatsoever, you are playing in a pro club. Whether it's soccer, whether it's basketball, whether it's handball, whether it's tennis, you are involved with a pro club. Now, you may sign with it as an amateur. You're not technically a professional, but rather than go to school from 8 to 4 or whatever kids do, 7 to 3, whatever it is, they go to school from about 7 till about noon or 1, and then the club picks them up, drives them over to the club, and they spend the afternoon getting taught by professionals how to play sports. And they're coming over to play, say, basketball at 18, 19, 20, and they've played for like Barcelona. They've played for Real Madrid. They've played for teams in France. And so Bediako's saying, how is that different from what I'm doing? And the only thing I can say is it just kind of is, because that's the way sports are structured. If you're playing AAU basketball, you're almost getting a similar experience now, I would say. But that's, I mean, am I wrong there? It just seems like the rest of the world usually does things a certain way. We do them here. Now, it's our ball, our court, our rules. And if we say you can't come, you can't come. But if we say they can come, do we need to listen to people who are making arguments like the one Bediako is making now? That's my question.
What's interesting, the overseas aspect, because you're talking about those players who have, played pro and then come over here, but then you also have like a Felix Akpara who didn't pick up a basketball until he was 18. So there's so many different.
He was a soccer player.
He was a soccer player, yeah. So he comes from Nigeria.
Really tall soccer player.
Yes, and happy he
6'11"
transitioned to basketball.
6'11".
Yeah, so just it's very subjective and situational, and it's like you were saying the other day, the clear-cut boundaries within who gets to do what need to be drawn out, and they need to be drawn out soon, because you get situations like Charles Bediako, and it's just escalating. You should bring up the G League tweet that they took him down. Oh
yes, and we'll talk later too, because I want to pick up after a break later, because Tennessee's got a player in Ethan Berg who has played at least a tiny fraction of professional.
Did Igor Milicic? No, I don't think so.
I don't know, but his dad is an international coach.
Okay.
So he's been at basically advanced places for sport in the places where he's been. So he's been in sports academies, and he had played for like the his national team in some ways too. So it's. But before we go to break, I will say that it's a shame that something we helped get going yesterday has been taken down by the man. And I saw yesterday that a couple of Tennessee fans tried to get something going on getting Charles Bediako. He was still on the ballot for the G League All-Star game. And Vol Twitter, a couple of them, as they hilariously do this. They found, okay, let's do this. And I saw it yesterday and I said, okay, and I retweeted and I said, this will be one of the funniest things that Vol Twitter has ever done.
Yeah.
And then from there, a couple other outlets started picking it up. People that I know who work at, ESPN, SEC Network, a couple of them were laughing and getting in on it too. And then Barstool, with that army of people that it has, got in on it. And that, I think, finally tipped the scales, and they took him off the ballot. So there will be no vote for Charles Bediako
And I
in the
guarantee
G League All-Star
you,
game, which would have been one of the funniest things Vol Twitter has ever done.
I guarantee you he had the most votes too.
Had to have.
I had to have. Had to have.
You know what it reminds me of a couple of years ago when Ole Miss made what I and some others would probably call a long overdue change with its official mascot. You may remember Johnny Reb, right? Not a great mascot for the times that we're living in. And so they decided they needed a new mascot. And they put it up as a poll for the students. And the students thought it would be hilarious. Their runaway winner was Admiral Akbar from Star Wars, which if you need to Google him on your phone, just look up a picture of Admiral Akbar.
Wes
It's a
is
trap
educating
guy.
us.
It's a trap. It's a trap. And so they had to take Admiral Akbar off the ballot because he was running away with the title. And if they had been the Old Miss Admiral, they would have been the Old Miss Rebels still, because they're not changing that name.
I found it. This
The
one?
federal government would have to make them change that name. They ain't changing it. But
Can we get a close-up on
they were
this?
going to bring in
Hold on here.
Admiral
Let's,
Akbar.
The lighting's probably bad.
And it was
gonna
taken
mess it
off
all
the
up.
ballot. And then
Hold on.
But the funniest thing was, you got it. The funniest thing as we're looking that up was that the actual winner ended up
Zoom a
becoming.
little more. Come on.
It ended up becoming like the Rebel Black Bears. And so to this day, I still sometimes call them the Rebel Black Bears, even though they did away with that as well.
You got it?
So they've gone just kind of back to being the. They've kind of gone back to just being the Rebels again.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so that
worked out perfectly.
There's probably a better.
we love when technology works.
It's great. It's great. There's probably a better explanation in there somewhere, or a better connection someone could make, but that's the first one that I thought of off the top of my head. Because if you put these things up to the people, and I think you have to stick with it. Like last week here, were you here for the great mislabeling problem last week? Have you not heard about this?
No.
Shelby was producing the show one
Oh,
day,
I did hear about
and
this.
she labeled the show in the system officially 10 at 3 with Wes Rucker.
Oh.
And
Nothing.
I went to her. Oh, I know. We've talked about this. It's out there. And I said, did you do this on purpose? And she insists that it was a typo. But
Of
then she
course.
was like, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a typo. And so I said, okay, well, now the people are going to decide this. So I put up a poll for 24 hours. And I said,
Poor Shelby.
do you think this was A, an innocent typo, B, malicious and punishable, or intentional and punishable, 3,
yeah, do we need to bring this to HR or what?
intentional but let it slide. And the winner by about 20 percentage points was intentional but let it slide.
Oh.
So we put it to the people. The people said, I agree with her.
People said,
if she
we
did it
love
on
Shelby
purpose,
Wright.
we think she's right. And so now
her last name.
you can drop the W off of her last name, because if you want to do a typo, Shelby Wright, because that's what the people said, and that's what we believe in here.
But what would have been punishable by? Like,
I
what
don't
was
know.
the
That would have
punishment
been the
going to
next.
be?
I've got
That'll be the next
over-
poll question.
ask our sales department. I spent way too much money during the Christmas holidays, winter holidays, whatever you want to call them, on a horrible.
Why are you
I spent
shaking
a
your
lot.
head,
I spent a
Elijah?
lot of money on pranks.
Oh.
A lot of money on what?
Pranks.
Oh.
I've got I disclose all of them, but because they could be potentially used on anyone who wrongs me in this building.
Not who wrongs you.
Yes.
That's
Like
very
Shelby.
vindictive.
I'm waiting on.
I'm not starting anything.
You're ending it.
Yes. We don't start fights, we finish them. And
Julia's
I have
about to start a fight.
I know.
some
I'm
of
just
them-
trying to understand.
Oh no! I'll be clear about this. None of these
All
pranks.
harmless, I'm sure, right?
Oh, they're all harmless.
Totally harmless.
But you can't say
two
them.
rules. Totally harmless is one. Two, would never be on camera. I'm talking office, family business. Okay.
Elijah knows though.
Yes.
You know the pranks.
Elijah knows at least a couple of
Yeah.
them.
There's one that is kind of funny. I'm not.
It would have been funny.
Yeah, there's one that is kind of.
Tom, you know too?
I know at least one.
Oh,
So
Oh.
I've got that would have been in play. It just would have been which one am I going to use. Now, none of them are physically painful.
Oh, of course not.
no.
None of them
Totally harmless.
would ever be seen live on our air.
Although, well,
I would maybe record them and then see if I wanted to use them later.
maybe recorded.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think HR would need to be involved in any of these. I don't think any of them, because when I went there,
Says the
I
person
very
who
I
wants
think
to.
maybe you should
I
just
mean,
stop talking.
Here's the thing. When
It's
HR
getting more
gets into
incriminating to me.
Yeah, I feel like maybe we should just go to the next. How do we get
no,
from
because
the
no,
next
I
segment.
know because
The next
I
segment.
I very carefully went over them, and there were some of them that I did not purchase because I was like, I could see that being an issue. So
How much money did you spend on these pranks? Disclose that, and then we can move on. But it's your podcast, so I guess we can.
All of them total about just maybe a little less than $300, I think.
Oh my lord!
And how many pranks? 3, you
There's
said?
about- there's 5.
Those are elaborate pranks in my
$300
mind.
I'd say
Then, because if
$300
we're
pranks.
even just do division here,
60.
on
That's 60.
that's still a lot.
Well, but
Here's
here's
it in
the
my
thing.
hand.
Oh,
Here's the thing.
thanks.
Here's the thing. The sales team stood down. They stole some of our stuff. I stole it back. I locked it
Oh.
up. They can't get to it now, and so they stood
I
down.
know about
So it
this.
wasn't used for
See?
them.
You
Wait,
know,
why
he's-
can't you
he's the
talk
one.
about this?
It's one more that like.
No. Because when I locked up our goods and they couldn't get them back,
Yeah.
That came from
They-
downstairs, right?
part of that, yes, and one of them I purchased, and they decided to end the feud there. They didn't try to steal it back. So
Yeah.
these pranks were bought as a potential retaliation for me expecting them to come back because they were talking pretty big game about it.
So why
Who?
can't we talk about it? Because I feel like I don't interact with enough with you on the daily for me to ever be involved
Yeah.
in these said pranks.
She's a morning girly.
yeah.
Because the
Even
people
a hint.
the people in here could
I'll fill you
these
in.
two.
no, like in the building, people
Oh.
who would see this, listen to this, like they
Yeah.
can't see it coming.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
If they see it
Oh.
coming, then it
Gotcha. So
doesn't
we're still
work.
waiting on it.
Yes.
Okay. So
Wait.
you're
It's
waiting for
just
the
that
right moment. That's
They
what that
are
is.
retaliatory pranks.
They haven't even like
definitely waiting
backfired
for it.
though since you stole it
You're
back.
waiting.
I ain't waiting for it.
But
Oh, so
at
you
some
want to
point,
get got?
I plan to
I
be
already
here
know where
long
it'll come
enough
from if it came.
to be wronged at some point.
Okay.
And I appointed myself when I got here the minister of morale for the sports department.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to have fun, but we're also going to defend ourselves. And if people come take our stuff,
The language surrounding
yeah,
this
It's like
is
World
sending
War
me,
III. He's like he's ready for war.
Sales. And he's talking about sales.
He's like he's ready for war.
like
He's ready for war.
Yeah.
Hey Wes, you're ready for war. Just say
Yeah.
that.
no, I'm not. I'm not looking for it. I am prepared for it.
I wonder if the
difference.
sales department listens to this
Yeah,
podcast.
no, they gotta-
Oh, at the holiday party, they came up to me point blank and said they were going to steal something of ours, and I said, "You're
not
not."
point blank.
Point blank.
They told me that, and I said, and I replied to them at the time. I said this very clearly. I said, "If you do this, you are choosing a fight with the least mature person in the building."
So did you take?
and the person with the longest memory in the building, and the person who just probably, if I'm being honest, cares less about getting in trouble than anyone in the building.
Did they take it?
So, oh yeah, they did. Remember, we had to take it back.
Wait, what? I thought there was only
Our
one
holiday
item.
decorations.
I know that, but why can't you say it?
Because someone will wrong us again at some point. What is lost? How is this lost in translation?
Why can't you just know what the item
yeah.
was?
That was stolen?
Yeah.
That was one of our holiday decorations.
Yeah.
the one that can't show on air, right?
The one that we can't show on air for
Yes,
copyright
exactly.
reasons.
Yes, but
Oh,
does that
okay.
mean we can't say what it is?
I mean, we could probably say what it is.
I'm gonna
We
say
can
that's
say
what I'm saying. We're not
it's
showing
a
it.
It's a
Yeah.
life-size Buddy
I feel
the
like
Elf
this will
that
just
talks.
give
Yeah,
like
it's a
listeners.
It's
Context.
You know.
it is
Yeah.
a life-size.
I require context.
Is
here.
a life-size 6'3" mannequin of Buddy the Elf that you plug into the wall
Have
and
you
it talks
seen
and
him?
moves.
Yes, because he was in the studio for a hot second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
And he
the
couldn't
whole
be
morning
used.
team hated him.
Yeah,
and we
I
couldn't
hate
wait
him.
until sales stole him away.
And I don't.
We
And
celebrated
and we
that.
got it, and
They
I
moved-
don't want it.
They moved it. They moved it into
He's so scary.
what I call the John Becker room.
Which
with-
room?
With the room where like
Oh.
you make sure you look okay before you go on.
The
to
men's dressing
dressing
room
room.
The
is
men's dressing room.
just for John Becker. Every other man can't
Oh,
use it.
I love JB, but 90% of that room is his. Let's just call it what it is. That and it's fine because he's
Elijah's
done that.
sitting right next to you.
Yeah.
When you go in there, whose stuff is in there?
Mine and John Becker.
And I'm pretty
If you look to the
sure
left, I got that.
you're
side.
forgetting
That's like-
Mr. Todd
that's
Howell
like
out there
20% of
too.
the stuff.
That's true. That's true.
Todd uses that.
And
my
so-
chief
the
Matt.
time.
I'm saying
He's
if-
my too.
Chief
My
Matt.
chief Matt.
If you go in there, the decor in the room lets you know who has established himself as the
Sports.
alpha in that room.
Not
Okay,
the alpha. Oh my lord.
Oh no.
To be fair,
that's
I,
what he did. That's what he's done. Why is all of this problematic?
It's
So
not.
wait, so
saying-
wait. So is every other male that used the dressing room?
It's John
Beta?
Becker's room.
No, because
No.
you said he's the alpha.
No, he established him. He tried to establish himself as that. It's been
That's the
hasn't
word
been
you
decided.
use. So I'm just doing like what that means for every other male.
Whose
that uses
faces are out there more? You go around town. Let's call it what it is, right? We're all behind JB
mean,
and Todd. We should
I
be.
mean-
We should be. But what I'm saying is this.
Poor
that-
Andrew McClung.
Here is the point.
Poor Andrew.
No, best voice in here. Andy's a rising star. If they, that's where Buddy had to be moved originally. And I went to our bosses and I said, may I have this? And they were like, are you going to put it on camera? I said, no. They said, then we don't care. And then I said, very specifically, is that a yes? This is permission to take it. And they said, yes. And so I took it and I left a sports note saying, this is property of sports now.
Did you want
If you
the elf?
if you came here looking for Buddy the Elf, he's in the
The
sports
elf
room now.
was like, I got back being sick, and I looked to my right, and I was like, "What?"
Oh yeah, you tried
I
to.
wanted to set up a cam to see his reaction to it because I put it in the room in a place where because it can't be on camera and where it is will never be on camera. So you walk into that room and then you look. You just look right there and you just
And
don't
he's
see
there.
it coming.
It looks
and
like-
you just
it
don't
looks
see it
like
coming,
a
and it's
murderer
terrifying. We
in
got
the
And it
lights on
talks.
him, and it talks too. And,
And
so
the face is just
and so
scary.
now people, for the most part, are used to it. But watching one by one over a couple
Everybody's
weeks, people walk in there and go, ah! Like
was that the sole
I
purpose
don't know
you brought
if
it
I
in?
probably have seen its
Yes.
face. I don't know
What?
if I
You
have.
hear that? That's the sole reason he brought it
don't
in.
Look, it don't look nothing like Will Ferrell.
at all? In fact, that was
It's-
my point, was that
nothing like
if
Will
it weren't for the shirt, it could not even be copyright because it doesn't look enough
It
like
doesn't.
him. It looks like a store mannequin. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's so scary.
But we put lights on him. You know, he's got a hat. He's holding a football, and he's going to be decorated throughout the year. But when they stole him, I went.
Throughout the year, I'm trying to get that thing out right now.
Do you know the combination to the locks that I put on him?
No, Wesley.
Then he
But
can
I
go
feel like this
anywhere.
should be a sports department conversation.
I feel like there's
it feels
three
like
people.
it's a 1-3 right now, and Julia's not even in the sports department.
Well, then
Honorary member to
then-
Honorary
then-
So wait,
member,
I just want to know what you
The
gonna,
only athlete.
what's the next holiday is Saint Patrick and then Easter. So what's the costumes for that? Then?
well, he's going to have some Irish stuff.
Got some bunny ears for him.
I meant to bring in a Viking hat for him when the snow was coming, and I forgot because you have like a Viking hat that I have
Oh,
at the
for like
house.
our storm coverage?
Yes.
Okay. that
And
would have been
then,
great for
and then
morale.
obviously for Easter, he's going to have like on a pink shirt or a yellow shirt. You know, he's going to have like
An
a
Easter
good,
basket.
Easter service shirt. You
Yeah.
know,
yeah.
Yeah.
narrow summer maybe like a lei and like a surfboard.
Oh my God.
And then Halloween, that's pretty obvious, and Halloween's pretty obvious. He's just going to be decorated throughout the year. I could put shirts on for
mean,
people's
he's
birthdays.
Creepy enough, so I don't think you need to dress him up for Halloween.
See, there you go. It's
true.
And
Just cover
so,
his face, please.
And so when they stole him,
the
what
only
I did
time of
was,
year you can do
what
it.
I went and there was nothing in there that I could bolt him into the room with. Because
Wes.
there's nothing. But
You're
what I
trying to
did was
bolt him.
what now?
Bolt him into the room.
Yeah, it was nothing bolted into the room that I could put a lock on that you couldn't drag him out.
So there is no lock.
Yes, there is. I was
I'll
getting to
figure
that.
it
I'm
out.
getting to that.
I'm gonna
Oh,
ask
I
Hank.
don't.
I took some of the heaviest dumbbells from the weight room downstairs, and then I took some kettlebells from my house, and I put a bike chain around it with locks on it, and so you could physically remove him from the office, but it would require 3 people, none of whom are going to be happy about it. So that was the best I could do. So that's what I spent a night doing during the holidays was getting all that. They stole him, and I said, don't do it. It's about our pride. Do you not have pride in us?
Pride in Buddy the Elf?
No, pride in our stuff.
But we never had it in the first place. It was in the JB room.
Emily, if the weather team,
I would not care.
hypothetically speaking, you're right here. If the weather team,
Take it.
if the weather
We don't want
team
him.
came into our room and stole something that you had claimed, or like art that you had up there, or something that by rights
But
was
we
yours,
didn't have him in the first place.
I got permission to have him. He was all.
You were the only one who sent the email. He's like, I sent his
Are you
All right,
listening
we
to
can
what I'm saying here?
yes.
Because if you're listening and you disagree, that's fine. But I don't know if you're hearing what I'm saying.
I am hearing what you're saying. I
say
was
this
never on this.
respectfully.
Elijah, can you back me up a little bit here?
I got you.
Thank you.
If
says
someone,
nothing.
okay, let's,
Wait, I want him to finish his point.
a bystander.
He said, I got you.
let's not let's not say the weather team. Let's say, let's pick up who else has their own squad, right?
The weather team.
Just
Digital
use
team.
the
Thank
Digital?
you. Team digital.
Sales?
Let's say okay, no,
They're already
because
involved.
they're already
Okay.
they're already the enemy.
Sorry.
Despite what they do is very important and we love you. But if the digital team came in there to our room and took something that was yours, that you had gotten, it was either your property or you had permission
For
to have,
sure.
and they said, we're going to steal this, and you said don't, and they did, I would also have a problem with them because they would come at my people. That's what I'm saying.
If you care so deeply
I do
about Buddy the
Minister of
Elf,
Morale,
then I
I
will
do
be
that.
on your side, and I understand where you're
So
coming from.
how much do you care about the elf?
But I don't give
It's not about the elf. It's
a
about
poopy
pride.
about it.
It's not about the
I know,
elf.
it's about the principle.
It's about the principle.
Words.
It's
Okay.
about
Okay. I have another question.
Do we have to take a break soon?
We may have skipped over one.
Oh,
Do we need? Remember,
Such a heated
my headpiece is
discussion.
having issues today. Do we need to go to break now? We
We
can.
don't have to go to break right this second. We can wait until 40.
Okay, this is my last question before we move on, and it's important. No, it's important.
Okay.
Big question.
If, let's say, the weather squad,
weather team.
the question, we're squads.
Okay.
it's
Squad
okay.
up, squad up. You're in my squad.
Squad
We're
up.
in a
What is
squad.
this, Fortnite?
Sort of, yes.
No.
And
we dropping?
so if
like,
the question that
we're
I
talking
posed
about
to
sports.
Emily, I posed to you.
Uh-huh.
Someone came into y'all's space and took something of yours that you said not to take, and we said we're going to take it, and you said no, don't take it, and then we took it. What would you do?
I would be upset. I would feel wronged. Sure.
And
I
would
would-
you
But
not
do you have
retaliate?
something
I
that
just
you
wanna
care
get it-
about so deeply in the weather department that
Anything that I
you-
care that deeply, I'm not going to leave it here. Like,
Fair. Wes, you should take it home.
This-
that solves
this
your
is-
problem too. It's not here anymore.
This is the problem I have with maturity.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
No, you're being mature. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
I
This
thought you
is
were calling
my-
me immature.
No,
I think he's calling me immature.
no. This is my problem with people who are mature, is that, they
You don't give fun answers.
they don't.
She's
You
rational.
don't get in battles with them.
She's
They're
rational.
like, I got better stuff to do. We're professionals here, and then they move on, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, that's not the point.
What's the point?
He's trying to. He's ready to squabble up. That's what he said.
You said at the beginning
What
of the
is
podcast.
squad up?
Look, he's ready to squad up. Hey, I get it.
I mean,
it's
What
the
do you
principle.
get?
I get the principle.
It's the
Yeah,
principle.
for
I mean,
Don't
I would
mess
wanna
with my
get it
people.
back,
Don't mess with
for
my
sure.
people. That's the
For sure.
That's the
I get
principle.
that.
Wait, can you
principle.
remind me? I'm sorry, we keep dwelling on so. Just last thing, who stole it? Because
Oh my
we,
God.
sorry, where did it start? It started
Okay,
in.
Was it not
I'll be
in the
very.
news?
Can you map
newsroom?
it out for me? Because I don't remember
It
anybody
was
coming in and
placed
taking it.
in the main studio,
Okay,
and
Yes.
it could not,
where you saw
for
it.
copyright reasons, be in that
So
studio.
they went to the dressing room.
And so it got moved temporarily to the dressing room.
And you
and then I
emailed.
went to our
Yes,
bosses and I
yes.
said,
Can I have this?
"Can I have this?" And they said specifically,
Sure.
"Are you going to put it on camera?" And I said, "No." And they said, "We don't care." And I said, "You said we don't care.
Yes.
Did you
yes,
say I
yes.
could have it?"
Yeah.
And they said,
Sure.
"Yes."
Yes.
And so at that point, that became mine.
Mm-hmm.
Ipso facto, it became ours because that's what I believe in.
Yes.
So when I walked in the dressing room, how I knew it was Wes Rucker's handwriting, it said on a sticky note in there, it says, "The boss says I can have it. If you don't believe me, take it up with him."
Oh my god.
and then
So
assigned.
I was like, okay, the elf must
But
have
then
been
how
in
did
here.
sales get it? They moved
So
it from.
They
They
stole
took
it.
it
They
from
told
the
me they were
office.
going to steal it, and I said, "No, you're not." And they said, "Yes, we are." And I,
I
said,
didn't
"If you
realize
don't-"
that they were going back and forth with you. like
That-
that.
It was
I
a-
thought that it just ended up in the sales room.
Yeah, I thought so, too.
No.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
No.
I honestly thought it was just
we
Yeah,
one of
you
those.
needed
are
to-
the
you-
aggrieved party.
You needed
here.
to make it known the reason
Yes.
why that they were the
So,
enemy.
I got a
That they
question,
are
Wes.
the enemy.
I thought I said that
Now,
earlier.
this is a question.
No, I didn't
This
know
is a
that you
question.
guys were going back and forth.
So do the sports team have beef with sales too? Like, should we all beef
No.
with sales?
Because you beef with
'Cause you
sales,
beef
we
with
should
sales?
beef with
Because
sales.
it's- 'cause it's a
Ain't
squad.
nobody got
beef
beef
as a
with
squad.
No, because what happened was we've gone back and forth. We've traded barbs, and they didn't reply this time. So for now, we're good. But if we're not going to start anything else.
Well, you bolted them down.
So if they,
So they can't
what
take
I'm
it.
saying is we're good now. But if they do something else, then we'll go to step 2 in the retaliation instead of step 1 because
What's step 2?
they're not a first time offender. That's all I'm saying.
This is all in good fun, though,
Yes,
right? This is
yes.
all in good fun.
Yes.
All right, this is all in good fun. We had to clear it up. For
I mean, is it
everybody.
the
This is all in
is
Anyway.
is it the beard that's making people think that like I'm doing some bad stuff?
No.
here?
No.
Do I look sinister here?
No.
All I'm saying
I
is
think this is the entire point of this concept. I lack in any sort of context.
Yeah, I was just trying to
from
make context.
from the start
Yeah.
to like we were, because it was
the
vague
very first
about
thing I'm
what we were
doing after
talking
we
about.
publish this is
Yeah.
I'm going back and I'm listening to it in detail because I'm pretty sure I explained it earlier.
Okay.
You said you had the longest memory in the building, didn't you say that?
and I'm banking on it now.
All right.
All right, we'll
Anyway,
play it back.
That's my point. So the point was Charles
God, we
Bediako,
spent-
Yes,
That's
but one of the
wild.
greatest pranks could have been pulled off, but unfortunately,
one of the best pranks could have been, and I
Denied.
appreciate a good prank. And there's very few things that frustrate me than authority figures stepping in and stopping a good prank, because they put him on the ballot. Now I guess they could say, technically speaking, he's no longer in the G League, and to which I would say, do we know that? Because he could be right back in there in a week.
for sure.
So is it fair? He should sue to get back on the ballot.
I want to know if
That's
they
what he
play
should do.
Florida next. They play Florida
No,
next.
they've got. I think it's Mizzou. I'm looking this up.
All right. Well, regardless of who they play this week, if they win with him, does that win count if he goes back to the G League?
Right now, they have said the TRO from the judge. The TRO from the judge said specifically that Alabama, Bediako, Oates, none of them could be punished.
Okay.
So,
So their wins would count.
but what I'm saying is that does that mean the NCAA can't vacate the game? They're not saying you're in trouble. They're just saying you played a player who we said from the beginning was not eligible. You ran the risk
Yeah, because
of
he had.
playing a player
yeah, he
that
had the-
that did not have an injunction to play, just had a temporary restraining order to play, which I think we'd have to get a lawyer in here, but I think there's a difference in those two things. If an injunction is basically like that's official until we rule otherwise. And I'm not saying that a temporary restraining order is not official, because it is, but I don't think it's to the same level as like an injunction is. This is just like a temporary, like it even says like it's 10 days, or I guess now it'll be 20.
Now it's
so
20, yeah.
so that's a small window where you could very easily say we could just wait a week or two and then have an answer on this. So that's where I don't know. It's one of the many things in this case and in college sports right now that are a mess. And that's not.
Well, college sports got to get a hand on a lot of things as of lately. I mean, this is like one of the many things, but I feel like personally, I think this is wrong. We all agree that it is wrong, but I'm a firm believer of you got to get with the times. At the end of the day, you made a decision to go pro, you can't go backwards. If you go backwards, it's not like you can't do that. That's like when I'm 30, it's like me trying to get back in shape to play college football because of NIL deal. That's never going to happen. I'm be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what I referred
That's-
to. Like
yeah, I'm never
you
gonna do
said,
that.
3 years. Yeah, but if you go back even further, someone who played college basketball 10 years ago could make the same argument. Yeah.
Right.
That's-
so let's
that's
get with
where
the
it gets
times.
tough.
It's over. Like the NCAA got to get a grasp on it, but you got to realize this is a young person's game. Let it be a young person game and let it move and figure out a way to make it moving forward.
There's always been a loophole to where if you never turned pro, you could go, and we've seen this before. At South Carolina State years ago, there's a football player who was like 30-something years old, 40-something years old, but he had never gone to college. So there's absolutely no rule and should be no rule against that person who had never been a professional athlete and had never been a college student enrolling in South Carolina State as a freshman and playing football.
I've seen that.
There's no rule against that, and there shouldn't be. But because that, who's to say that's like telling someone you can't. Once you turn 30, you can't enroll in college anymore. You can't. That's.
I think it should be a cat playing a sport.
Yes.
I don't think like that guy that was 30, 40, whatever he is, putting on a helmet, playing around with 18, 19-year-old kids.
I mean, that seems like a risk to him personally, as someone who's that age now.
And
I mean, it's a risk to them too, though. But like,
Yeah.
even if you're thinking about it in terms of like maturity and just
Yeah.
like emotional intelligence and just your brain is more developed as a 30, 40-year-old compared to an
Even, like,
18,
financial
20-year-old kid.
status,
Yes.
too.
And like even in a locker room, what do you have in common with these 18, 19-year-old people? You're 40. Like it doesn't. There's nothing else for you to really
I'm
do.
curious, because Tennessee was like, oh, let's get some of our VFLs back in there, and can we make the same argument for them? You think if this were to happen to Tennessee,
Right.
if the same case, what would the fans think?
Oh, they'd be arguing like crazy to get him out there because people want
Yeah.
to win. And that's why I said from
Yeah.
the beginning, I do not blame Betty Alco for this, and I don't even blame Nate Oates for the hypocrisy, because even though 3 weeks ago he said this wasn't cool, and now he's like, wait, hold on, this is cool. This is super cool.
But would
I'm
Rick
not-
Barnes play him? I don't think Rick Barnes would play them.
But I don't know if that's the fair comparison, because you go look across the country, look at people who tend to win championships. How many of them have done every single bit of it the right way? If we're being totally honest here.
I mean, but
Very
that's
rarely.
sport. Like I
That's
always,
sports.
But I always say
I
that.
hate to put it that
I
way.
always say that.
I mean, I cover professional cycling. I've seen some stuff.
But-
Okay,
but I always say
some
that, like,
stuff.
it's- I
I've seen
mean-
blood doping. I've seen gene doping. I mean, I've seen stuff people just do, and it's not. None of it's okay.
But I always have said that. Like I mean, like for instance, like if we want to like do it like that, most star players in the league, I feel like have some type of issues with a team or something that's going on. But the coaches and the organizations are going to allow it until your production start to go down.
Yes.
Well, I was going to say, too, you said you've seen so much throughout your career in terms of the behind-the-scenes stuff that's not okay. I think that this is such a... You can't hide this. You know, like
can't
this,
at all.
it's literally like you're inserting a player into a game who should not be there. It's not like, the stuff you were talking about on the side where you can kind of cover up. I think since it's such a outward argument and an outward situation, that's why people are getting so heated, because they've never seen something like this before. And yeah, it might seem like it's not the craziest thing in the world, but I think it is the most out on the table, so visibly wrong.
And I feel like that because Tennessee has 4 like true freshmen that really hits the floor each and every night.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about a guy who just came back from the G League, who was playing against 23, playing against pros.
It
in
doesn't
co-
matter
in
if he didn't
practice.
play an NBA game. He still has those G League
saying,
professional
in practice,
repetition.
yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, he was going up against
It's still the experience.
totally.
But-
Yeah.
And to see me, I think the thing that the reason why, there are many reasons why I think this should not be happening. For me, the number one, and it's like, this is one of those things where we can and we should discuss every side of an issue. That doesn't mean that you weigh them all equally, but you do bring them up. Hey, I disagree with you, but I'm not saying you're crazy. I just think you're wrong. There's difference in those things, and if we could have those kind of conversations as a society, boy, we'd be in a better place. But when you look at, for me, what it gets back to is we're discussing all these things, and we're getting away from the one that to me is the most central part of this. He did play in college. He chose to leave, which is the single issue. We've talked all about the European stuff and the similarities, and if this is cool, why is this not cool? Even the player at Baylor, who's not as good as Betty Alco, I don't think. Not right now, anyway. Maybe in the long term, it's different. But that guy's averaging, 2 and 2 or whatever. He's not doing a lot. But Betty Alco could be averaging, 12 and 8 or 12 and 10. Like, he could do that. And so that's the he was in college and he left. And his argument is that if I had known,
Yeah.
then I wouldn't have done that. But to me, that's like saying, well, yeah, if I'd known this was going to happen in a relationship, I wouldn't have gotten in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
It's like an if I coulda, woulda,
Yeah,
shoulda.
if I had known the
That's
concept,
life.
if I had known the
that could
concept,
be applied to every college
That's what I'm
basketball
saying.
player who's ever played the sport.
if I had known the consequences of my actions, I wouldn't have done it. Welcome to the club, big fella.
yeah,
That's called being a human.
yeah,
And that doesn't mean that there aren't situations where you say, yes, this is so outrageous and so unfair that we will go back and right this wrong. But I don't think this, to me, reaches that level. And here's the problem if it does. If he wins this case, if this becomes acceptable, how many players are out there, specifically in college baseball? You see this dozens and dozens of guys from every school. Guys leave all the time and get drafted and go pro, and they never get a cup of coffee in the major leagues. They might get to AAA.
I mean, this
They
would
might get to
apply
AA.
more. Yep.
And if this becomes rule, I said when they let the kid play at Baylor, now an American or Canadian is going to sue and is going to fight for the same thing and welcome to being in a tough situation. Now, this would open the floodgates even more because college baseball would be stocked with guys who wanted to come back because they had never made it to the majors. And then if you say, well, you can do it at 3 years, someone would be like, well, how's 4 different from 3? And then they'd go sue. And then someone would say, well, I'm 5. What's the difference in 5 and 4? And then they sue.
I want to say this, though, Wes. Like, then what is it? What is it? College sports anymore?
It's college sports can survive if it can adapt to realities and come up with actual firm rules. I think collective bargaining has to get involved now. You're going to have to collective bargain this. They're going to have to be in a union. They're going to have to be collectively represented, and they're going to have to get rules that they agree to, that the conferences agree to, that NCAA agrees to, that Congress agrees to, and we all say, okay, this is it now.
But
like, this is the rules.
Will it be a college sport if you're allowing stuff like that to happen to come back? And that's because, like,
not to come back. No,
it won't be college athletics. It won't be the NCAA anymore. It'll be basically minor league
with what
football,
Wes was
basketball,
saying
baseball.
With baseball is they get drafted. They could get drafted whenever. Baseball is so different because you have young players getting to the pro level. So I think,
but most of them don't get
exactly. And if they do, it takes time, and that's the thing. It's like, how much time are we gonna give players?
Where do we draw the line?
How much time are we gonna give them to make the decision that they want to come back? Do we wait until they realize that they're never going to be able to play in the MLB, or they're never going to reach that level? Or, like in Charles Bediaco's case, he waited 3 years to make the assumption that, maybe this was the wrong decision for me in my career. But I think there needs to be a line drawn at when these players can make the decision. If it's going to be allowed, there needs to be
I just
a
feel
situation.
like, I guess in my mind, I'm really a traditionalist when it comes to this, because that just sounds so unfair to me.
It is.
I would just be I would feel like it's not equal then. How am I a player coming in from high school, going to college, and I'm playing up against people that have had some level of pro experience but decide to come back?
And you're taking scholarship opportunities away.
And do you have to be an accredited student to be on these teams?
Well, it's also
I don't think they can ever get around that rule, but we'll see. I think the best case scenario here, this is what I think. It's not. We always talk about the difference in what I think and what I know. This is what I think. I don't know this. I think that if this would not be a long-term issue, because they would say Bediaco's argument is, I did not know at the time, and so now even if he won that case, what you would have is at most 4 years of madness where people get a one-time amnesty to come back. And then from that point, you can no longer make the argument, I didn't know, because now you know. So no one going forward, if you leave, they need to, at the very least from the future, they need to tie that up, bolt it down, super glue it.
It all should come
JB
down
weld it.
to a decision. It should come down to the player's decision, not what they do or don't know at the time. Maybe we use this as an example moving forward. But like you were saying, like if I'm a college athlete and I make a decision to stay at my school and finish college and get a degree, and my teammate is like, I want to go to the next level. Those are two completely different decisions that fall on that person and on that athlete. So I think it all comes down to it was his choice. It was his decision. I don't think that he can blame anybody else other than the fact that he made the choice and his fellow former teammates didn't make that choice. I mean, he's going back and playing with some, I'm assuming, freshmen that were on his team when he was at Bama. I would assume he's 23. So
well, in this day and age, I don't know how many people have been
are
on the
still
same roster for 2
for
years.
sure, exactly. Well, that's another issue. You
Well,
know, like
all I think is that, you know, there are times where you do have to make exceptions. COVID was an exception.
injuries.
All those players,
yeah,
everyone there got an extra year, which I was 100% in favor
sure.
of, despite knowing that would create a 4-year window where a few fewer kids would be getting scholarships because things filter down, they trickle down. That's how it goes. But if this Bediako thing, if he wins this case, which again I do not think he should, but if he does, then it will create a window where everybody at a certain age and younger gets amnesty one time to come back, but nobody else moving forward can ever leave school and then come back, because you're saying this is an exception. It won't be a rule because they can't do that. They just can't.
Yeah, he might be the sole case that,
You
okay,
might
this
have
is
a
our
handful of
guinea
guys.
pig. This is our guinea pig, and we can kind of set the precedent from now on. This is the only exception because he didn't know, which it's still
I
Well,
think
seems
it's just
but-
wrong.
that
no,
argument alone
Still seems
just
wrong.
seems so wild
Oh, no,
to
it
me.
does seem wild,
because
but-
you can apply it to every facet in life. Like, oh, I didn't know this was going to happen. Okay, give me a do-over. No, it's not how
not
life
happening.
works.
And I agree, and that's why I'm saying I think it would not be just in his case. It would be, they're saying that anybody who turned pro since the past 5-6 years, whatever, anybody within that window gets one window in 1 year. Like next year, you got to tell us within the next year, are you coming back or not? Because if you are legally, now you're allowed to. So they get to come back. They get a window to do it one time, and they can finish their eligibility. But going forward, no one new will be able to leave and come back, because that's where it would be like COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this is what I want to happen. I'm saying that of all the bad scenarios I can imagine, that's
would
the
probably
one
be
that's
the
the
best
most
one.
palatable of the bad choices.
I mean, I agree with you, but I feel like if they let that guy do it and they open the floodgates, I don't think it's going to be a one and done situation. They can't, and the NCAA can't even get their thing on the transfer portal right now. I feel like that situation, that door is going to be open for a couple of years for a couple of guys. I don't think it's going to be something that we're just going to let this guy come back and we're going to close the door after this year. I think that's going to be open for a few years. And if say like this, say if he does come back, and I don't know what college basketball ratings are right now, but the ratings spur through the roof.
they're pretty good.
Do you think the NCAA is going to be like, well, if we get some more ratings through this and making some more money through this, then I mean, I'm not sure we're going to close the door on it. So it's like they're going to have to make a decision and stay with that decision in my mind. And I think the decision should be the right one of not letting that guy play, because if they do let the guy play and they open floodgates and say, knock on wood, Alabama wins the national championship, that's going to cause havoc
Yes.
through the NCAA.
And I think what they've done here, I don't really like agreeing with the NCAA. Like over the course of history, that's not a great bet. Like that's not the side you want to be on more often than not. There's a lot of good-minded people there, but they work for an organization that consistently does bad or stupid things. And so whatever, maybe they're all guilty by association, but you could say that about a lot of things in life. What I'm saying is I think they would say, in this case, Bediako's argument is that he didn't know. Anyone who would be leaving from this point forward would know. So
Yeah.
they would be
Yeah,
ruled
yeah,
out, done, can't do that. To Elijah's point, those guys could bring a lot. If those guys bring more eyeballs and more money, we all know if you want to make a bet throughout history, in sports, throughout anything else, and you say, this is what the richest people in the conversation want to happen, it does not always happen. It is always the safer bet, because when it doesn't happen, it's an upset. And so to that point, yes, if those people who have that much money and control decide that's what they want, well, we normies are in for a fight to make it, you know what I mean? Like we are. That's what it is. And I would say we there because I think I'm not an advocate here, but I'm saying, listen, there's right and there's wrong.
Secretly, I'm on the NCAA board.
I mean, I've said this. Listen, this is one of my
Y'all
number-
may be normies.
This is one,
For yourself.
I say this.
That's
this
a
is- this is
joke.
probably
That
the-
is a joke.
This is probably the second or third time I've said this since we started this program, but so apologies, but I'll say it again. it's okay to say that someone says the grass is green and someone says the grass is blue.
Kentucky was here.
It's okay to say this. But then you also, I think, as a journalist, have to go outside and say, well, this is what we see. So someone could say, yes, this person said the grass is green, this person said the grass is blue, but also, by the way, we went outside, it's green. So there you go. These people said it's blue, but it's green. I don't think that's advocacy. I think that gets masked as advocacy, where I think that's just truth telling. So it's all complicated. It's a mess. And are you glad that you got out of this before this all became messy, or are you feeling like, man, I could have made some more cash money doing this?
Well, D3, I mean,
But
you don't
still,
make. No.
you wouldn't want to.
No, I wouldn't go back. It's fine.
You're happy with the way
I'm
it
at
turned
peace.
out, right?
I'm at peace
You're
with my
happy with
decisions.
the way that turned out,
No, because
right?
that's how life works.
That is how life works, isn't
And
it?
she's irrational.
Yes, and we've said this before: rationality, maturity.
Buddy the elf.
Oh, I guess they're good things, but they're also annoying at times.
Yeah, and that's
Not you, just maturity in
I got
general.
you.
Obviously, you're lovely. You're not. No.
I hope so.
What I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
you should come on.
this is a
more
fun
often.
conversation.
It was great.
And this is why, we could have gone for hours today, but we all have stuff to do. We all got to get back to other work. Oh, and shout out to Hank, who
Thank you,
Shout
Hank.
out
my son
Hank.
Hank made these
PC.
nice drawings after the Eagles and Rams were eliminated
Yeah.
from the playoffs.
How are you feeling?
This picture shows.
He was frozen.
I
He
see
couldn't feel
red.
anything.
I saw red.
Very nice, very nice.
I saw red.
So yeah,
For all of you who didn't know, Elijah spent the weekend in Crossville with one of our reporters, Ellis, helping
Yes.
with snow coverage. So shout out to him. He did a great job. But during that time, his Rams lost. So
well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna have to have Julia back in here because if we got some more weather coming in, we need to know about this. So we need to use all your expertise, the sports and the weather. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. We will see you back right here again in 23 hours.